You are exiles. We are the exiles. We are the fallen. You made the decision to go after strange flesh. This is about one thing. This is about us being consumed by another race. Let's get them in a host body system so we can destroy them. You're a kingdom divided. You're good and evil. You are the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. To rectify that situation, you got to be turned up. It's how you know that you know Jesus. And if it doesn't add up to the scriptures, then it's not true. All right, guys, God bless you. Good morning. Welcome to This Is It, 4321 Before the Fire. Let's go, guys. All right. Update. Okay, we've taken computers to the shops to get restored because we've been having so many attacks and problems here. We are countermeasuring it, and we are continuing to bring you everything we can. Part 2 of the project is in the offing right here. We're trying to get it to you, but like I said, we've had to have some computers go to the shop, and we're trying to get stuff out. But again, we're dealing with a lot of pushback. Apparently, there seems to be forces that don't want y'all to get to see the stuff. How weird. It used to be so easy to make a video. Now it's quite the problem. It's crazy. All right, guys, here's what I want to talk about this morning while we're getting part 2 ready for you. And when I tell you part 2 is, it's not even conclusive. It's stupid conclusive. It's beyond conclusive. The system that you're caught in, the system of control, literally like being in the Matrix, is very easily defined, and we laid the groundwork in part 1. All right, part 2's, we're working on it, but in between there, I want to make sure you guys have some resources, and we're going to continue to deliver because there's too much stuff happening right now, and you have to live in the moment of what's going on, and I don't want to let all this stuff get in the rearview mirror without you guys getting to see it. So let me show you one thing real quick. I want to make sure you guys understand that there's this other short channel we're going to start populating. Please make note of this. J. Kleck Before the Fire. Okay, you see this channel right here? This is another YouTube channel we have. It's a real short channel. And we haven't been populating it for a long time. But what we're going to use it for right now is we're going to use it to do really short little videos. And the reason is because I don't want to post longer videos on my channel, or shorter videos. I'm sorry. I don't want to post shorter videos on my channel and then people don't watch the videos that are sitting there that are an hour of intense information. Because if a little shorty comes in right after an hour-long video, people will skip the hour-long video and they'll go to the shorty. So what's the solution? The solution is both channels. You go to the Jonathan Kleck channel for the long ones. You go to the J. Kleck channel for the little short updates. Let's do a little update right now. I'm going to leave this on, obviously, Jonathan Kleck channel, but I'm trying to direct you guys to the Shorty channel so you guys can go get short little updates. And then I can give you guys these short little 3 to 5 minute, 10-minute videos on scripture and stuff like that I would like to give you every single day. Okay, now that's going to be our solution for that. Now, y'all ready? There's been a change of guard. Trump's in, and we have the Biden administration, and we have all the corruption and all the lies and all the weaponization coming out right now. Everybody is starting to jump and celebrate. Oh, everything's gonna be great. Watch out now. Okay, this is when you really need to have your antenna up. You need to pay attention to what's going on because let me show you something. I'm going to show you a little clip from Benny Johnson. Then I'm going to show you another short little clip so you guys understand the mindset of society is changing in the U.S. to like, oh yeah, now we got them. Now all the criminals like Comey and Schiff and all these people that have just perpetuated lies, CNN with their lies, and all these legacy media that are there's lies, and everyone's excited that they're being exposed. It's like, absolutely, you should be. However, what do you think the 800-pound tiger is going to do cornered in the room with a bunch of guys with a net cornering that tiger? You think he's just going to go quietly? Now is when you need to pay attention. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. Let's go right here to this is Benny Johnson. I like Benny. He's a pretty excitable guy, but he's fun to watch a little bit. But let me show you what's going on his channel. I'm going to let you see his intro and then let him make a statement.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Nearly 4 years ago, the Durham report was finally released. Special Counsel John Durham, with his exhaustive investigation into the Russiagate hoax, concluding that Hillary Clinton planted a false story and paid for false information and broke the law, and more importantly, that Barack Obama knew about it, along with James Comey. James Comey did nothing. In fact, James Comey, who was held over as FBI director in Donald Trump's first term, then weaponized the false reporting to launch massive investigations and spying operations into Donald Trump, knowing, of course, that this information was complete and total garbage.
Okay, now, everything you said is right. Now, here's the big issue. Kash Patel and now Dan Bongino, they know where all the bodies are. So those guys now are taking the helm of the FBI and they're moving in on, they've already opened up an investigation into Comey. Well, these guys lied in Congress. They perjured themselves. Apparently Comey put in honeypot assets into the Trump campaign in order to spy on Trump without going through any channels that the FBI normally goes through. I think there's a thing called the Sentinel. And if you're going to run an operation in the FBI, at least Sentinel needs to know about it. But Comey went outside those guidelines and he was sending spies into the Trump campaign. And one of those people that was sent apparently has come forward. Go watch it all on Benny Johnson. Apparently one of those women that was sent in, she was a member of the FBI, and then she was told, if you talk about this outside to anybody, then there's going to be problems. So she was very scared. They promoted her to a field office, but apparently now she's coming forward. And if she rats out these people for what I just said, then we're talking, that's treason. You have a huge problem. Now, go watch the Benny Johnson report so you can understand fully everything I just told you. But then you have to look at the fact that Dan Bongino's in now as well. Well, Dan Bongino knows where all the bodies are for Adam Schiff and all the lies that Adam Schiff told. So now there's this collusion, conspiracy to commit what? Conspiracy to commit what? The overthrow of a president. That's called treason. So now they have all these people and they have all the information coming in now that proves that these people colluded and conspired, conspiracy to commit treason to take out a president. Okay, well, that's big news. Now, here's a part people are not remembering. Now, this is the focal point of my video. When you're in a situation like this, and it looks like everyone's ready. Oh, we're going to get them now. Now they're going to get their due reward, their treason. They did all this. And everyone's excited, and I understand that, of course. But if you don't know what I'm about to show you right now, it's just a big trap. The whole thing's a trap. Because if you're not looking at the world through the correct lenses, if you're looking at the world in a secular way, but you're not seeing the biblical, spiritual view of it through spiritual eyes in a biblical way, you will not be ready for what's coming. So let me give you that biblical view right now. Right after I play this next clip from this channel's called Hustle Bitch. He was instrumental during the Lahaina fires. He even took a lot of heat. But watch this next clip, and then I'll show you what you need to see.
President Donald Trump surprised his followers and sent many critics into mourning when he finally revealed his pick for the deputy director of the FBI.
President Trump has named a former Secret Service agent and conservative podcaster as the new deputy director of the FBI.
Bongino's background includes Secret Service and the NYPD, but not the FBI.
Now, Dan Bongino isn't just a podcaster, even though the media seems hell-bent on telling us that. Well, let me tell you why these legacy media channels have been trying to discredit him even before he took the job. And
Okay, so go watch Hustle Bitch's channel. It's right down here. See it right here? You guys can go watch his channel. Go watch his whole report. Now let me show you the massive problem with looking at all of this through secular eyes. Do y'all know who Professor Nez is? I love the guy. Super nice, sweet guy, you know. He just wants to see justice. He likes right. You know, do the right thing, be kind to people. And if you're a liar like Fannie Willis, you deserve to be found out. I'm of the same mindset. However, Professor Nez will be one of the people that is caught up in the secular trap because he didn't understand the spiritual world behind all of this. I'm going to show you the spiritual world behind all of it right now. Okay, here we go. Okay, just for your mind and just for fun to make things easy on your brain, I'd like for you to just check some boxes in your brain when I throw some information at you. There's a no box and you can check no or you can check yes. Okay, so let me ask you a couple questions real quick. First question, the image that is in front of you, is that associated with the Church of Satan, and is it commonly known that that is used in witchcraft to invoke spells and to cast spells, and as an integral part of witchcraft? The sigil of Baphomet right there. It's a yes or no. Okay, answer is yes. Type in sigil of Baphomet, star of Satan. Google images. So next question, is the image that's on your screen right here, is that exactly the sigil of Baphomet inside of a pentagram with Caitlin Collins standing on it? It's a yes or no. The answer is yes, because no one has to explain anything. You merely just have to look at it. So now you have CNN standing inside of a witch's circle, is what they use to invoke their spells and do their little witchcraft. So what I'm going to do to make this really simple, I'm going to stretch out the folder right here that these are in, and I'm just going to slide the woman right here in the witchcraft circle. There she is. There's just go type in witches inside witches circle, pentagram casting spells. There you go. There's a witch inside of a witch's circle, sigil of Baphomet, working on one of her spells. Okay, so now what I'll simply do to make this really easy is I'll just stretch the screen out and I'll slide her over right into the sigil. Instead of Caitlin Collins, now you're looking at the witch inside the pentagram. I'll slide it over. There she is. Now, next question. Yes or no? Is that identical to the previous image I just showed you of Caitlin Collins? The answer is yes. Now, here's a question that might take a little bit of thought. Do you believe that Caitlin Collins standing on that stage doing the Trump town hall, do you believe that is with intent, that they built the stage that way in order to resemble a witch's circle, a pentagram? So when they got Donald Trump to walk in there, that group, and when I say that group, I mean demonic serpent race. That's the group I'm talking about. A demonic group of people that are all attached through a spiritual means, or they are all attached together through a spiritual way, which is the angel of the abyss, which rules over that entire system, witchcraft, Satan. Do you believe that the stage was constructed that way? Yes or no? Okay, well, some people may have this argument or that argument, but I'm going to suggest this. I've done plenty of construction in my life, and here's the thing. When you're given a space and you're told, hey, we're going to have this many people here, and we're going to build a stage here, and we have to have X number of seats, and we have to have walkways, we have to meet fire codes. When they built that stage, they had it drawn out. They planned it. They had to draw it. They had to measure it. They had to cut boards. They had to screw boards together or nail them, however you want to put them together. Screw them, nail them together, whatever you want to do. But they had to build it in that shape in order for it to be in that shape. Do you think there was a cognitive recognition that they were doing it in the shape of a pentagram? Well, when you draw a pentagram on a piece of paper, you know you're looking at a pentagram. Do you think that if you weren't a satanic group of people, you might look at that and go, well, you know what? That doesn't look so good. Maybe we shouldn't do it in the sigil of Baphomet because this might give people the wrong view. Or do you think because you're so arrogant, because you worship the angel of the abyss, which is her, which is female energy, her, the male posing as a female? Or do you think you would leave it like that because of your arrogance? Let me show you what the Bible says about that. Let me show you what the Bible says about what I just said. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 10, it says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness." And now I'm going to speak very plainly. The Democrats always trust in their wickedness. That's what's been going on. Now it looks like it's going to be on full display. That's why they're so opposed to Elon Musk and Trump going in, opening up USAID. Did you notice what color the letters U and S are in USAID? It's blue. Blue represents them. That's their color. USAID, aid us. Get it? It's aid for themselves. It's even in the title of the organization, US Blue Aid. So they're giving it to themselves. Now watch. Thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, there is none seeth me. So see, that entity believes she's invisible. None seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. Thou hast said in thine heart, I am. Look, I am like God. I am, and none else beside me. Therefore evil shall come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. All of a sudden, that entity, that spiritual essence, is going to take the population. The population will turn. And this thing right here was one way of helping that get along, because they don't want you to get out of their system or her system. And her system is right side up, upside down. This is her system, because her entire goal is to kill sheep, and sheep are angels. That's your angelic essence, and that's your soul, because her entire goal is to destroy your soul. Everything else is a sideshow. If you don't know what the main goal of your enemy is in any war, you can't fight the war. The main goal in the war, that's the world, is for the angel of the abyss, which is a he posing as she, female energy, to destroy your soul, your angelic essence. That's the goal. So now you know what the goal is, you can see what the war really is all about. I just showed you that this was part of the whole plan, and that's going to really come into play here very soon. Because let me show you what they were putting out in the news back during the time they were throwing those at everybody's arm. You see that? A twindemic of what? I'm not going to read the word, but a twindemic of what? I'm circling it right here. I don't want to do their algorithms. A twindemic. Healthcares are preparing for a twindemic. Twindemic. Just go type it in. A twindemic. Twins are one's right side up, one's upside down. Twindemic. You get it? Now you know what that was really all about. Daniel 2. The iron mixed with miry clay. Let me show you something that was in that thing I showed you, and I'll just show you. There it is. And I'm holding it upside down for a reason. Because if you introduce something into a system that's magnetic, and you want to make sure no one gets out of that system, you could introduce something that changes the magnetism of the entire system, because spiritual energy is energy and magnetism is involved in all energy. And if you can change the magnetism of something so it can't get out, then you have it. I think we're still waiting for the modem though, and that may just be around the corner depending on when the next thing happens that's going to happen. And what I mean by that is, do you remember what happened on 9/11? See right here, the Twin Towers? I went ahead and drew right on the top of that. Is that the exact same thing as the stage that Caitlin is standing on? That's the exact same thing. And let me go down to a little bit clearer with the same color. There's Caitlin, right? Really snotty, mean little girl. She's standing in the middle of a witch's circle because the female entity, she runs the twin system. There it is. You see it? Now you know why they destroyed the Twin Towers on 9/11. 9/11 is a biblical passage. It says they had a king over them, the angel of the bottomless pit, Satan. Okay, because that's who they worship. That's why she's standing in a sigil of Baphomet, because that's the goat. That's Satan. That's who they worship. They believe female energy is God. And that's why Ariana Grande has a song called God is a Woman. So here is a white sigil of Baphomet. All I did was connect the corners of the bill. There is the Twin Towers in the middle. Well, let's take one more look at a witch's circle. Is it the same thing? It is. Why is that? Well, because it's all true. Let me show you two more things real quick. For those of y'all that have been around, you'll understand this. For those of y'all that don't, I'm not going to play the video, but this is called The Little Deviants. If you want to watch this, go to YouTube and type in Fable of the Deviants, Scion commercial. And it says, the little deviants, they come from underground. They're rising from the depths to take those people down, those sheeple down. Okay, so they're rising from the depths to take the sheeple down, and they're killing the sheeple, and they're coming from underground. Okay, that's a Little Deviants commercial that's disguised as a car commercial, but then Madonna does the exact same thing at Quavo. She comes up from underground. She's got an X over one eye. She has an X on her chest, representing 2X, female energy, and the X over one eye, representing that eye belongs to the female energy side of the system. So there's Madonna coming from underground. There she is with the X on her eye. Now let's talk about ZZ Top. I showed you the language of angels on ZZ Top, 2626. It means to rise, to overflow, like to rise up and to overflow the top. ZZ Top, to overflow the top. Well, what's going on in the image? Well, a serpent is coming out of one eye. Well, that's exactly the same as Madonna if you have eyes to see. Madonna's rising up out of the pit, and her eye that's covered by the X, that represents the serpent race. And now she's going to show it. There it is. And if you go watch this, she's got a serpent on one side of her leg and an upside down cross on the other. And here she goes. She's going to show you the X on her eye. There you go. No different than ZZ Top. They're always rising from the bottom. Let's look at Ozzy Osbourne, the same thing. Here it comes, the two rising, and they're going to rise up, and they're going to make a bow. And then after they make the bow, the twin female are going to turn into a serpent. There's the bow, there's the serpent. They're rising from the depths to take those sheeple down. So I can use the words from the Scion commercial, and I can put them right here in the Ozzy Osbourne video, and it's all the same. They're rising from the depths to take those sheeple down. How are they going to take those sheeple down? Well, again, they're going to tie them together using... Did y'all ever see the Avengers where Ultron has the tube and he flips it in his hand? He says, upon this rock, and he flips the tube upside down, I will build my church. He was getting the vibranium, but in our system, it's more like that. That's what it would be called, because that's what they're going to be using, because you need that in all the houses in order to install the modem, in order to run everything. So here we go. Again, the same exact program is right here in Ozzy Osbourne as Madonna, as the Scion commercial, as in ZZ Top. They're all the same. They're rising from the depths. Well, who's rising from the depths? Well, let me show you where I first saw that before I saw these commercials, was these set of eyes right here. Right here is an eye, and I'm going to slide it over. And this is a guy that's strapped to a cross with his arms tied behind his back. And all these guys are trying to hold the cross up, but they can't. It's falling down. Now look at this group of guys. These guys are skating off. They're taking off to the other side. So they're going to this side. And on this side, all these guys are erecting this beam right on top of this guy. And if you have eyes to see, that's a lion with its mouth open. There's its eye, there's its ear, there's its nostril, there's its open mouth. This is the Lion of the tribe of Judah, and they're trying to crush it by erecting a beam on top of the Lion of the tribe of Judah in this eye. But that comes from the Sistine Chapel. And the Sistine Chapel, that entire thing is called the Last Judgment. And the image I just showed you, the whole thing is the face of a dragon. I don't think I even need to draw it in for you to see it. There's the eye of the dragon. There's the other eye of the dragon. There's the ear of the dragon, ear of the dragon. Here's the nose hidden right under your nose. There's Lucifer coming through with the female. There's right side up, upside down, equal and opposite. There's a triangle going one way, triangle going the opposite direction, showing the dragon's female system. And there is a painting called The Last Judgment that's in the Sistine Chapel. And the thing that they all have in common is no different than a video by Megan. What's her name? Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. Now, just for the record, Megan Thee Stallion. So she's a girl, but she calls herself the Stallion, which is a male horse used for breeding. Why would you be a girl, angel of the abyss, but you're calling yourself a stallion? Oh, well, if you're the angel of the abyss, which is really a male entity, in the image of Elohim created he, him, male and female created he, them, to create a system to transfer energy from heaven into the system, destroy it because it's one up, one down, and the serpent destroys it and takes it down, and then creates an army of the dead. That's perfect. And here is Megan Thee Stallion. Again, Megan, she's a female. Watch him walk behind the shade. Watch this. Look what happens to him. Is that a serpent? It sure is. And the serpent gets him, and then she walks out. Oh, you walked into my trap. Welcome to the world of male and female, where we're going to destroy you, and then we're going to turn you into the army of the dead. Watch it one more time. There's a serpent. Going to grab him. You're done. Now she's got her army of the dead. Now, if you go watch her video, it's called Mamushi. See, Mamushi, right there. So the guy walks into like a whorehouse. He hands a guy a card that says Mamushi. Do you guys know what Mamushi means? I looked it up because that's what I do. I exercise the spiritual gift the Lord gave me. And the word Mamushi has multiple meanings, including a venomous snake and a song by Megan Thee Stallion. So it is known as the Japanese moccasin, Japanese pit viper. So Mamushi is a venomous snake. So he goes in there, hands the guy a card. Hey, I'm allowed to come in. And then he goes in, and then he is destroyed by serpents, but they look like women. And then all the guys in the place are killed, and then they're transferred into the army of the dead. There it is. So all these guys that are blue, they were all guys that were in the whorehouse, just like the parable of the son that went to a faraway country. He wasted his substance on riotous living and prostitutes. Oh, like the Megan Mamushi, Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah. And so hopefully you come to your senses and you turn back to the Lord your God and you go back home. Otherwise, you'll be the army of the dead, just like Megan Thee Stallion showed everybody in her video. Here's another one. I just thought it was interesting, but have you ever watched Lord? What I did is I just very, very lightly penciled in her closed eyes. She very purposely closes her eyes. And if you go watch her song, will never be royals, because that race of beings knows what they are, and they're hunting God's princes, which are royals, through the host body system, male and female, in order to destroy them, to get their soul to the pit, to create an army to come out to make war against the Lord God, which isn't going to go well. Okay, now here's the point. I showed you all this for a reason, because I want to show you now the reason everybody's falling into the trap. Okay, so now it looks like, everything's going to be good. We got Dan Bongino. He's a bulldog. We got Kash Patel. It was him and Devin Nunes that broke the whole story about the fake Russian collusion. So Kash Patel knows all the ins and outs. He knows where all the bodies are, and Dan Bongino does as well. And so the Democrats are terrified because they know they've committed treason. There's a whole group of them that colluded and conspired to commit high crimes and treason. That's pretty serious, because I think, they're back in the beginning of the United States, I think they had a pretty stiff penalty for that. We'll leave that to what's going on right now, those guys. I'm just here to show you the spiritual world. So anyway, if you're caught in high crimes and treason, that's probably not going to go very well for you. However, if you realize that the battle isn't between James Comey and Adam Schiff and Donald Trump, that looks like the battle, but that's not the battle. Let me show you where the battle's going to happen. Here's where the battle's going to happen. Do you guys know what you're looking at right there below me? Right down here. You know what that is? Let me stretch it out a little bit. Let me make it a little more real for you. All I've done is I've folded the $20 bill in the shape of a pentagram to reveal the Twin Towers burning on one side. And on the back side, that is the image on the back side. And I just want you to take a moment to look at that building. That's the Pentagon. So the Pentagon is also printed on your U.S. currency. Now, here's the point I'm going to make. All the things that the Lord showed me back in the very beginning of my ministry, he gave me the bombings on all the buildings in the United States are printed on U.S. currency notes. The federal building bombings printed on the old 20 front and back. The new $20 got the Twin Towers printed on one side, and you just saw the Pentagon printed on the back side. And they're all inside of a 5-pointed upside down star. I'll say it again. They're all inside a 5-pointed upside down star. So who's doing it? Satan. The manifestation of Satan through the host body system. I'll say it again. Who's doing it? The manifestation of the serpent race through the host body system. The angel of the bottomless pit. He is personified. That means he's in a host body system. And he is doing his bidding through a bunch of bodies in order to make these things happen that I'm showing you. That's the real battle. The other stuff like, Kash Patel is going to get Adam Schiff and Dan Bongino is going to get the Secret Service because they all lied, they colluded, whatever. You know what's going to happen? The $10 bill is going to happen and the $100 bill is going to happen. And the reason they're going to happen is because the two $20 bills already happened. Also the $50 bill, but we're going to get to all those right now. Ready? That's the Pentagon. That's already been bombed. And you can see the bombing right in front of you. So I'm going to ask you, yes or no, is that the bombing of the Pentagon printed on the $20 bill? It's a yes or no answer. Well, I'll tell you what, in order to answer it, let's go back and let's look at a couple other images. Is that the Twin Tower bombing on the same $20 bill? Yes or no? Well, I'll tell you what, the best way to answer that question is to do an educational side-by-side compare and contrast imagery, right? And then we're going to move on to what's going to happen, because that's what I'm concerned about. Everybody needs to get off the we're going to win with Donald Trump train into the we're going to win with Jesus, because we put our trust in Jesus, not in Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump seems like a moral guy, and I know he's trying way harder than the other guys, but it doesn't mean he's been set free of the system. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let me go pull up a couple images right now. So here's one $20 bill made in 1996. There's a $20 bill front. There's the back. If I fold that bill in the shape of a pentagram and turn the pentagram upside down, There is the Twin Towers. Now I'm going to quote the Bible. Woe unto them that go to great depths to hide their plans from the Lord. They do their works in darkness, and they say, who seeth us? Who knoweth us? You know, like Isaiah, where it said, she has trusted in her wickedness and said, there's none that seeth me, because she's inverted you. So Isaiah 29:15-16 again, woe unto them who go to great depths to hide their plans from the Lord, and their works are in the darkness. Darkness is down. They say, who seeth us? Who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down, turn it the other way, shall be regarded, esteemed as the potter's clay, regarded as the work of the Lord God. Now watch. Yes or no? Is that an image of the Twin Tower bombing? And is that the Pentagon? Well, let's have a look at what the Twin Towers looks like, and let's have a look at the Pentagon. Okay, so these are all in a new folder, and I'm going to give you the folder. So let me just go from right here to here. Here's the Twin Tower bombing, and here's the bombing on your money. You know what? Let me pull something up real quick. Sorry, guys. We're going to grab a quick image. I'm going to show you. Here's an image right here. There's the Twin Towers. Let's go back to that folder. I'm going to grab that Twin Tower blend and see if I can go into here. Okay, there you go. Here's the Twin Towers. I'm going to put it right here on the $20 bill. Right here. Is that the Twin Tower bombing? Wow, the explosions are in the identical places. Look right here. I'm going to hold it side by side. There it is. Okay, so now we've clearly identified the Twin Tower bombing is on the $20 bill. Now we're going to look at the Pentagon. Here is the $20 bill with the Pentagon. So now if I'm to show you right over here where I'm circling the $20 bill, right here's the Pentagon. It's smaller, but here's the actual Pentagon right above my image. There, wouldn't you know it? Of course, when we started talking about the U.S. currency, the whole program just freaked out again. This is what I deal with trying to get a video to you guys these days. It's crazy. Okay, so anyway, so we've identified very clearly the Pentagon and the Twin Towers on one bill. We'll just go look at this 20, the old 20, and then we'll move right on to what's coming. Here's the old $20 bill. It's got a smaller face on it of Jackson, and then it's got this totally different image on the back side of the bill. And then here is the federal building bombing in Oklahoma City. You can tell by the rounded corners on the building. This is the end of the building. It's not the face. And then you can tell by the long, elongated rectangular windows. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then watch this. When you turn the bill over right here, there is the building blown in half. Now, do we know that that's what it is? Well, let's go and see what we have to compare it to. And so we should have a new image up here to make it very easy to dare to compare. Let's go right here. There it is. So watch this. So I'll stretch this out. I want you to look right here. I want you to look right here. Here is the end of the building, the end of the building. See right here? Look right here. There it is. See the rounded corner? Rounded corner. See the long rectangular windows? Long rectangular windows. So here's the federal building bombing in Oklahoma City. There's the explosion. And then when you turn the bill over, right here, I'm gonna make this circle right here. We're gonna enlarge all this for you as well. You can see the building with the face blown off the building right here. This matches this right here. So now we've identified these, but what's even more telling is the 3 layers of ink, because the 3 layers of ink are what are going to allow you to see what's coming for the U.S. The U.S. is going to be nuked, New York, and there's going to be a tidal wave. The way I know that is because the Lord gave me a prophetic utterance in 2007 when Barack Obama became president. And in that prophetic utterance, it said these words, out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. That's a nuke. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by the sea. Now that was documented back in 2007 during Obama's reign. And so that's part of the record already. So it's easy to find. You can go find the whole prophetic utterance. It's on Kleck Files. But watch this. So out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Well, let me show you the federal building bombing in Oklahoma City so you can see all 3 layers of ink that show the building blowing up. Okay, ready? There is the federal building blowing up. But I want you to look at the lighter spots. See the light spots in between these lines right here? See, it looks like kind of smudges, like right here. That's because when the artist did this, when you enlarge it, it turns into a 3-frame movie of the building blowing up. There's a second layer of ink, just like an explosion. Now, I wonder what the odds are that I can show you U.S. currency notes that have 3 layers of ink that literally emulate a building blowing up. And they blew up. It's like, okay, not possible. There's layer 2. Let's look at layer 3. Here's the explosion of the federal building bombing. Look at that. So 1, 2, 3 layers. That is an explosion. That is the federal building. That is what you are looking at. Is it not what you're looking at? Did it happen? It did. Is it right in front of you? It is. Okay, now, that's my point. So what about out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind? Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by the sea. Well, let me tell you and show you what came out after that prophetic utterance. After the prophetic utterance, we had U.S. currency notes that came out and they changed the notes. And what's so crazy is those notes ended up emulating or matching the words that came out of my mouth. Let me show you the $10 bill. There's the new $10 bill. It's orange in color. What happens when a nuke goes off? Do you think it would be more appropriate to print the $10 bill if there was a nuke going off? Would it be more appropriate to make it look that way to print it in green, or maybe add a little orange to the bill? I think if you added orange to the bill, it would give it more realistic look of a nuke going off. That's what they did. They added orange to the bill, and if you'll look around this oval right here, they took off the 2 double lines, which would totally destroy it, looking like a tidal wave. Because when I slide this over and you look at this tree right here, you see how the bend of this tree right here, it's kind of fuzzy, which goes right in turn with what a wave would look like. And then over here, same thing. So when you fold the bill together, now you got a nice tidal wave coming over a 7-story building. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by the sea. Now, I didn't know how high the walls of Jerusalem were, so I went and looked them up. There's varying opinions. There's some places where it's on a cliff. It's like 130 feet or something like that. One place I saw was 72 feet, and then there's places that are lower. Well, 72 feet is approximately a 7-story building. So the building on this bill, that's the image of the building is 1, 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories, arguably 7 stories. And I'm going to make a line right here where my cursor is, because when I hold this right here, this part that's on your screen, sorry about that, the part that was on your screen, sorry about that again. The part that was on your screen, let's try it again. Okay, it looks like maybe attack number 2. This part that's on your screen with these lines, these white lines, that represents the reflection of that building in the water. So there's a 7-story building, there's a tidal wave, and there's the reflection of that building in the water because it's a tidal wave. There you go. Pretty good art, right? They did a pretty good job portraying a 7-story building with a nuke. But who would have ever guessed God would raise up somebody to prophesy the exact words that match U.S. currency notes that haven't happened yet? Now, here's the problem. Right now, they got the 800-pound tiger cornered in the room. Barack Obama's in on it. Comey's in on it. Peter Strzok, Lisa Page. You can go down the laundry list. Nancy Pelosi with the January 6th nonsense, and you have all Chuck Schumer, you have all these people that are in on the evil cabal because they're all being run by Satan. That's it. That's it. They're all part of a satanic spiritual essence that's running them, because they lie and they collude and they're in a conspiracy to commit treason, all of them. It's all a treasonous thing. What happened in heaven? Weren't there a bunch of angels that tried to commit treason? Isn't that kind of a perfect analogous representation to what's going on right now? We have a bunch of people that conspired to commit treason, and they all lie for each other and they all help each other. So they're a unified group. Oh, did you know the word demos, like demon, or democrat? It means a unified group that are all in it for the same cause. Demos, like the builders. I showed you the square and compass. Demi-orgos, a unified group of builders. Yep. So here we go. Now they're getting really found out, but they're being found out on a spiritual level, and that's what's going to be the huge problem. Now let's look at the $100 bill. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Well, 7 years after I spoke those words, the new $100 bill came out. There's the new $100 bill. There it is. Well, guess what? It's got the same little smudges that the other bills have, like the federal building bombing. That was a magnificent display of the federal building blowing up. Well, here's New York. And here's the same thing. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Well, let's take a look at the second layer of ink. There's layer number 2. You see the buildings starting to be devoured by the wind that's coming right at you. There's the wind starting to devour the buildings because a nuke has gone off. And here is the third layer of ink. No different. Wow. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. So the question is, and the question I have for everybody, is Jonathan Kleck a prophet or is he a false prophet? Which one is it? Well, I was willing to throw myself on the grenade for everybody's well-being. I was willing to take the heat. I've been through courts. I've been locked up in prison because of my association with Jesus, because I was willing to tell the truth. I got 2 one-year sentences based on something I did not do. But I was willing to expose it. And so the powers that work through humanity that are evil turn their sights on Jonathan because they didn't want you getting this information. So when people call me a false prophet, that's a pretty severe accusation. And we all have to answer for every word we say. Every word we say, we have to give an account for. So just for the record. All right. Now, again, I know it's all exciting and it looks like the Republicans are coming in and they're just going to clean some house and just get to the bottom of stuff. But, the whole Statue of Liberty thing, Statue of Liberty represents the host body that you took to come into their system. And that's what's really behind the Statue of Liberty is death. That's why she's standing on top of an 11-pointed star called a hendecagram, which in Jewish Kabbalistic cosmology is called the Kelipot, which represents your host body. Now, everything that's behind me on this wall, we are working to show you the simplicity and the mathematical genius that the Lord gave to me to show you everything's the same. You're going to see it. It's all going to be the same. You're going to see a hieroglyph that's 1300 BC. That's the same as the U.S. currency. You're going to see the hieroglyph that's the same as Obama's presidential portrait. We're going to tie the Vatican is the same as this hieroglyph. The Vatican's the same as the presidential portrait. They're all the same. How is that possible? Because if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. All we have to do is define what A, B, and C are, which the Lord's already given me, and we've already got it ready on our timeline to give to you. Anyway, guys, I'm up against a whole lot of serious spiritual warfare right now. So keep us all in prayer. Guys, there's always a good time to support the ministry. Now's one of those times. We've taken computers into the shop. We bought a brand new computer, But even during the production of this video right now on this computer, we're having stuff happen too. But yeah, it just takes a lot of the pressure off us. If every now and then we mention, please support the ministry. The way you guys can do that so we don't have to worry about other stuff is you can do it through PayPal at jk@jonathankleck.com. So right there, you can PayPal us at jk@jonathankleck.com, or you can send us to P.O. Box to J. Kleck at P.O. Box 91281, San Antonio, Texas 78209. Right there. So if you want to support this effort, and like I said, one thing I want to tell you that we're going to do right now is we've taken all the U.S. currency, we've taken the different layers of ink, we're putting them all in one folder, and that's all going to all the new people that are being installed in parts of the government. They're all going to be getting letters from Jonathan Kleck. It's a pretty heavy task, and it's pretty daunting. It's a very daunting task to do that. I've actually walked into the FBI office before, and I delivered to them what I'm showing you right now. And I think it was, I forgot what year it was, but before the $100 bill came out, I went over there and I showed them what was going on. And I didn't know that I would be leaving that office that day. So it's a pretty daunting task to go and show them this kind of stuff, because the power of the federal government's pretty huge. And when you go show them stuff like this, you got to be willing to step off the cliff to do it. And I'm willing to step off that cliff for everybody's well-being. Don't put your trust in the world getting better. Put your trust in knowing Jesus, knowing Christ. And the way to know him is you invert the world to see the truth. When you see the truth, you'll know the truth, and the truth will make you free. And when you make your appeal to God for a clear conscience, and you get restored, and you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is the Lord God come in the flesh, and you believe in your heart, you will be saved. Love you guys. Okay, peace and grace.